Hi guys, it's Eddie Malwane at Investing in South Africa. So today I have, funny enough, Eddie with me. So Eddie basically will be trying and decode a scenario where we would try and get some financial advice out of it. You should know that the financial advice that I disperse here is specifically to Eddie's situation. So Eddie, thank you very much for coming through.
It's a pleasure, guy. I really appreciate the opportunity of you calling me to be here.
Yes.
It's really nice, bro. I feel like I'm gonna get some help today.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like a typical guy, Kasi guy who grew up like Soweto.
Yes.
We have problems.
Yeah.
Real problems. We're not like trust fund babies or inherited.
Yes. No, continue talking.
Okay.
This makes it fun.
Yeah. I'm an HR graduate, and I recently started on my first job.
Yes.
And I'm an operations manager there.
Okay.
I earn it around 12.5, and yeah, I want to know how can I go about buying shares and getting my money to work for me.
Oh, okay. So I think it's a good thing that you're starting out, and 12.5. Of the 12,500, how much are your expenses?
I can say my expenses are a bit steep. They're around 8.5 because I have a car. I love a nice life, and sometimes I go party and
Okay.
spend a lot of money on these events and
No, I definitely understand.
So yeah, I just wanted to know.
Okay.
With around disposable income of let's say let's say 3.5.
Okay. So with a disposable income of 3,500 rands, there's definitely a lot that can be done. Of course, as a financial advisor, I would advise or sort of like push you to rather write down your budget, right? So as part of something that I actually sent through to the guys who usually had watched in the past, I sent through a budgeting spreadsheet. So on the budgeting spreadsheet, it helps you allocate your income accordingly. And every 6 months, you update on the same spreadsheet. Therefore, you'll be able to actually see what ate up most of your money. So before anyone starts investing, right, usually what I recommend for them to do is firstly start saving, right? So basically, this means that the first thing that we would need to do is try and build a sort of like something that's called an emergency fund. Right? So this means that if your disposable income is 3,500, we have to try and work on the 1,500. Right? So this means that while we're starting now, the first thing that we need to do is that the 1,000 rands needs to start building an emergency fund. So 1,000 rands times 12 equals to 12,000 times 2 years, which a lot of people think is very short, but it's actually, which a lot of people think is very long, is actually very short, right? So that would amount to like 24,000, and this means that if we are able to build an income of, let's say, 3 to 6 months, will actually be good. Whereas remember with this, we're working on an income of 12,500 rands, disposable income of 3,500 rands, and also
emergency fund of 1,000 rands.
Therefore, it leaves us with 500 rands. No, the 2.5 is yours to allocate according to the way you want. But then with the 500 rands, that's what we'll use to actually buy a bit more riskier investments. So by riskier investments, my personal favorite, easy equities. That means that's where we're actually going to start and buy either exchange traded funds, which are basically like investments like unit trusts and things like that, or we actually buy into the shares. So this means that you and I would need to actually sort of like sit in our next sitting and try and decode things like shares. But then before we touch investments, what's much more important and what I'd like to know is, do you have a life cover?
Nope.
You don't have. Okay, you don't have a life cover. So with you not having a life cover, if you were to die now, who would you leave behind? Are you not responsible for a few people in your family?
I am responsible for my siblings, and father. So yeah, with that, you actually bring in another question to my mind. I'm thinking of this thing of black tax.
Okay.
You know, since you stated that I have to have like an emergency fund, so what happens if like I'm starting this month and then next month my younger brother has like a sort of emergency? Do I put it up, or should I be like cold-hearted and just tell him to stop begging me and begging me?
Okay, so that's usually that scenario is very, very difficult, and that question when I have it with some of my clients, it's very, very close to the heart. Like you said, they would usually see you as someone who's cold-hearted. So there's usually degrees into these things, right? So the degree where you would definitely need to assist is where something is medical and something close to sort of like a life or death situation, right? So if it's like that, then you definitely should help. So this means that if your brother needs money that they would use for registration at school, definitely should help. That has a hold on it. But then if any of your family members ask you for money that they would need for clothing, remember it's not your responsibility primary as a brother to actually provide as such. But then if you can and you have disposable income to do that, you can help. And also the emergency fund is exactly for that. To cover any unexpected events, you can then be able to actually use that money to help. Right? So if the degrees are like that, then it helps you allocate your money better. Right. Now, in terms of black tax is a very sensitive issue, like I had said. A lot of people don't know how to tackle it. Right. So now what happens is with the life cover, what we're trying to ensure happens is that in the event of your death, whoever you were taking care of still is able to actually receive some funds that would be able to actually help them. And also in the event of something that happens to you, either dreaded disease or disability. Remember, you said you do drive. Therefore,
accidental death.
Yeah, accidental death. Then these things would actually
so it only benefits me when I pass away. It can't benefit me while I'm still living.
It can definitely benefit you while you're still living. Like I said, in the event of a dreaded disease, remember we eat whatever we want to eat. As Amachitase asked, Ikasi would usually eat quarters. We don't know what's in the quarter. Recently, there's been like funny polonies that we've been consuming. All those things contribute to the reason why we should definitely get dread disease, like cancer and things like that. And like you said, we're driving. This means that anything that happens could easily usually lead to a disability. Therefore, it would help us and also aid us whilst we're still alive.
Makes sense, man. Makes sense. I would consider
taking up such a thing.
So let's say I'm in a scenario where now there are these things like get rich quick schemes, and someone wants me to trade. They want to sell me like a trading account, and I can see that there are people like Rafs. They are making like a lot of money and buying Porsches and Ferraris, multiple cars, bro, like sporty cars.
Exactly what we want.
Exactly what I want as well.
Okay.
So should I consider also opening up an account there?
So with such things, it's very difficult for me to advise.
Is there something like you were mentioning, like shares, and is there anything that's like similar to trading, maybe in forex?
That's quick,
is solid, and you recommend?
Besides buying shares, believe me, there's
trading is not solid.
So I can't say it's not solid. So because I have no information in regards to trading, I definitely cannot advise you in that. Instead, so basically when I advise someone, the value proposition is that we will build your wealth slowly, right? So now slowly in regards to shares, like I said, if we were to play around with your 500 rands in shares, this means that with companies like, at the time when Steinhoff was actually rising, right, the share price started from a virtually small amount then to actually a higher amount, right? Now that's what we're usually trying to target, right? If we're investing in shares. But then even though with shares, remember, I can't tell you, no, you need to buy this company.
So in that direction, it's more safer than going on trading on other platforms.
I can't give you a solid answer in regards to that. So remember, with trading, there is specialists who know how to trade, right? Whereas sometimes, even on Twitter, I've seen this, there's a lot of people who actually pose as experienced traders, but then they actually want a fee from you. Now, in my studies, whoever wants a fee from you, an exorbitant fee, usually isn't the person you should definitely listen to, because those people usually want to actually take your fee and use it as part of maintaining their lifestyle. We've seen this happen in the past, and because it happens at such stakes, it means that it could easily happen to anyone, right? Okay. So now, like I said, in the value proposition, the idea is for us to secure you. By securing you, this means that we take out a life cover, ensure that your value is protected. Right? Whatever happens to you, you're able to actually aid yourself. This means that dreaded disease, while you're able to aid yourself, you're able to protect your income in the event of any disabilities as well, right? Then we come through and secure the fact that you're always able to actually provide to your family, right? So this means that we build you an emergency fund, right? Anything happens, you bust a tire, things like that, you're able to actually access from the emergency fund.
So an emergency fund is actually different from the life cover. It's separated.
It's separated, right? So the life cover is insurance. The emergency fund is you ensuring that any emergency you're able to actually cover. And then we start through with investments, right? With investments, then we would actually start and buying things that are a bit riskier. So this means that companies that we see have a valuation that is very low, right? Whereas the sort of like expected performance is rather high. Right? So this means that at the time when Sasol was a very small company, then that's where we should have actually bought, so that now when they high and they actually declare very good dividends, that's when we actually then start keeping our share, so that we can be able to live off of those dividends, right? Yeah. From there on, we'll start maybe, let's say, as the time goes, you'd want to buy assets and things like that. You'd be able to access from the same investments that you made, right? And then you'd be able to actually aid yourself. Then from the on, we can then take out a will to protect all those assets from your shares, your investments.
So the will actually solidifies everything.
The will definitely solidifies everything. But then amidst everything that we've already sort of like allocated, what's important is stability as well as knowing what your objectives are. Right? If you said your objectives are to actually maybe, let's say, build wealth over time, right? This means that anything that comes, even if it's a get-rich-quick scheme, we may need to ignore it. We shouldn't access investments early. If we said an investment is for a certain period, we should definitely make informed decisions.
Even if maybe someone like my friend Rudy has joined that get-rich-quick scheme, and then he makes a lot of money. You can see that he's leaving. There's like a big mansion.
Okay.
Swimming pool.
Yes. No, it's perfect.
Like Ferraris and Porsches. Like
he's living the life. Yes.
Ignore that life. Should I still pay it?
Okay. So if you feel, if you have disposable income that you're not afraid of losing, you should definitely buy into it. And I acknowledge the fact that we're laughing about it. It means that indeed the information is getting hammered into you. If any income that you feel, if you were to lose, you wouldn't cry, or if you were to lose, no one would come after you. Because you've seen with these get-rich-quick schemes,
so what happens is if I put in an emergency fund for that?
For get-rich-quick schemes, if you feel that's an important and integral part of your journey, definitely you should do that. Right? But then what's important, I don't advise you to do it, like I said. But then what's important is to build slowly and get the basics right.
Like why? it gets better with time.
It gets better. So, do you have any questions for me, perhaps, or do you feel this is good information?
I think this is absolutely good information for me, and I just want to thank you, brah. You have enlightened me, and I feel like I've learned I have to take out an emergency fund, I have to buy shares, and I have to take in a life policy.
Yes.
And draw up a will. I've actually learned that from you, brah.
No problem.
So much.
Sure. Okay.